What is up, everybody? This is Lyle No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, coming at you from the Hacienda in Centennial, Colorado. Got out here on the 19th. I plan on leaving out between the 5th and the 7th of next month. And I kind of wanted to talk about kind of how my mindset has changed in regards to how I plan on running in the future. Now, before I get to that, I wanted to do a review on a whiskey that a subscriber had told me that I should try out. It's called Whistle Pig Piggyback 100% Rye Whiskey. Now, one thing I didn't know about this whiskey was it is 96.56 proof. So to me, when something is this high in alcohol content, is usually to be used as a mixer, but at $55, that's a little high for a mixer. So I'm going to get into that right now. I'm going to pour a couple different glasses, one with no ice in it, and then I got one with the ice ball in it, and this is probably going to melt that ice pretty quick. Now, when it comes to this review, I'm not going to get all into, you know, the notes and everything, but I am going to kind of smell it, kind of see what's going on. I mean, I don't smell anything that really stands out right there. I mean, you will get that rush of alcohol to your throat, to the back of your throat, or, you know, when you breathe it in. So let's go ahead and give it a try just by itself. Neat. This is something that you can get in trouble with this right here. You know, I think back to the first time that I had somebody give me a bottle of Bombay Sapphire. It was one of my clients when I was in the mortgage industry. Gave me a bottle of Bombay Sapphire gin. Dang. Went home and I started drinking it. Next thing I know, I wake up and I'm like, man, I didn't drink that much of it. And then I started reading the bottle, and it was one of those really super high alcohol content gin. So this is very smooth for the alcohol content it has in it, so you probably can get in trouble with that. Now, typically I wouldn't be spending this much money on, you know, anything, but if I'm gonna be out on the road for 5 months, when I come back home, I'm gonna want something that's a little bit more than just your standard $15 bottle. Definitely like it a little bit better chilled. You know what? If you happen to be looking for a whiskey to try, I definitely will suggest this if you want to spend that money on it. But my son just bought me a bottle of Canadian whiskey. I think it was a single malt. I really don't remember, but the bang for the buck on that probably was a little bit better than this one. Yeah, definitely just a sipping situation right there. Definitely don't want to go too crazy on that, because you could end up on the floor with, you know, drinking too much of that. So let me pour this into the one with the ice, and it is melting. It is putting some work in on this ice cube over here. Now, after being out almost 5 months and then coming back home, you know, I look at everything that, you know, I felt like I sacrificed during that time. And there's people that do it all the time, don't get me wrong. But for me, that was a little bit excessive. Now, I didn't have to stay out the entire almost 5 months. You know, there's a time, and first of all, let me bring this up. I'm a granddad today, so that happened. My wife and them are up at the hospital and everything. I mean, my wife was acting like she was damn near having the baby. But, you know, you think about... Okay, back to my point. So I could have came home about almost 3 weeks earlier, but then I'd had to come back out and then come back, so I just decided to thug it out and just finish it up. And, you know, really made me start thinking about things a little bit deeper and think about some of the sacrifices that I've made and I'm sure a lot of other people have made in the trucking industry in general, whether that be time away from home. Typically, I used to like to run a 5-week run, come back for like 7 to 12 days, something like that. And I really haven't been able to get on that schedule. You know, a lot of the reasons I stayed out longer this last time was everything that could go wrong went wrong. You know, we needed to get a new deck, so $35,000 on a deck. Then had to put down the remainder of money on the new truck that came in. That truck came out the box, you know, having some issues and stuff like that. Then my older truck started having some issues, so I had like 2 trucks that were going down simultaneously. So on those I was paying downtime pay, you know, hotel pay in one situation. So I just had to do what I had to do. Now I would still do that again, but there's certain things that I'm probably not going to be doing as much anymore going forward unless there's a real reason to do it. You know, these holidays and things like that, being in Colorado kind of changes it up a little bit. You know, coming home for like Christmas primarily, you know, the weather could be not that inviting out here, so I'll have to play that one by ear. But some of these other holidays I do plan on just focusing more on me and not necessarily worried about Prime as a collective. So that you know, I may start being a little bit more picky, not as far as the money goes, but if you ever see me up in the Northeast, you know that I mean, I'll do it, and I accept, you know, just about every load that I get that goes up there. But you know, if we're gonna make this all about business and you know, not be as focused on the culture and stuff like that, then I'm gonna have to kind of refocus myself in that and kind of look out for what's best for me instead of worrying about everybody else. That being said, still 100% loyal with my fleet manager, so if he ever needs anything, I'm definitely gonna be down for that, but I'm not gonna be raising my hand to do, you know, anything too far outside the box. You know, as I was running before, maybe 5 weeks out, I may trim that up a little bit, and I'm not sure how that's gonna look. You know, maybe taking, you know, going out for 3 weeks and coming back for 3 or 4 days, then going out for maybe 4 weeks and then taking a week. I don't really know how I'm gonna do it, but I gotta get this in balance a little bit better. I don't feel burnt out as far as the trucking industry goes, but I feel a little bit burnt out from just the time that, and a lot of times it was, you know, this last time out, this last almost 5 weeks, that was necessary. But there's times that I've stayed out when it probably wasn't necessary because I was, you know, worried about the prime freight and worried about, you know, them being able to satisfy their contracts and all that kind of stuff, and might end up being a little bit more selfish on that. You know, I feel like I've put in my dues as far as some of that stuff goes. Props to all the trainers that are out there. It looks like Prime is looking for trainers. I do know somebody that just dipped their toe in that training pool, so got to give props to that. And you know, I am a pay it forward type person, so if you have been trained by a certain company and you haven't trained somebody else, you know, I still think that's still something that I would do because somebody had to train me. So anyway, that is about it. Let me see what's going on with my dogs. Mason, are they done? Okay, all right. Did they do anything? All right. So just to wrap this up, you know, I've been thinking about doing a cooking video, and you know, this company had sent me some like a coffee rub to do a video on, and man, I looked at my video equipment and I'm like, I'm not even sure I even remember how to do a real video, as far as, you know, even just filming it, camera settings, editing, all that kind of stuff, all the stuff I don't do on this channel. So I kind of feel bad about that, but I'm just not sure I'm gonna get to that. Let me see if my son wants to try this. Hey Mason, you want to take a sip of this right here? Quit acting like a female. Never mind, it's taking too long. Don't worry about it. Let me just hold you here for a sec. Well, never mind. I don't know what his plans are, but anyway, that's about it. So another thing I need to do when I'm back here at home is get these taxes in order, because I was out for so long, I didn't even have a chance to get my taxes done. Now I got the outline of the taxes done. You know, there's a few other things I need to kind of fill in, but I need to do that and then get those things submitted. I think I have till September to do that. Anyway, let me get off